Hello students, I welcome you to another session of English class. When we visit some sightseeing places of natural beauty, which is full of scenic picturesque, the beauty touches our heart and soothes our eyes. The charming beauty and the music of nature is a great experience. When we depart from these places, they haunt us. The moment we take leave of this place, they occur to us recurringly in flashback, means we remember them always. Wordsworth, who was a poet of nature, rather a worship of nature, was born in Cockermouth, Cumberland in UK on 7th April 1770 and died at Radial Mount and Gardens in UK on 23rd April 1850. At a young age, Wordsworth developed the love of nature. He was one of the most important English poets. According to him, poetry is a spontaneous overflow of emotion recollected in tranquility. The present poem Solitary Reaper was written on 5th November 1805 and published in 1807. In this poem, the poet describes a lone highland girl who was reaping and singing. The poet was so much attracted, so much charmed by her singing that unfortunately he could not make out the theme of the song. But he went on listening. Now let's get down to the text. I will read the stanzas and then give you an explanation. Behold her single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. Stop here or gently pass. Once Wordsworth was wandering in the hills of Scotland with his sister Dorothy. All of a sudden he saw among the valleys a young girl reaping and singing all alone. The song was so melodious, it fascinated the poet. He stood there, listening silently. All those passers-by who were going, he requested them either pass silently or if they desire, they can stop and listen to the song. Next stanza. Alone she cuts and binds the grain and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the vale profound is overflowing with the sound. Binds to tie. Cutting, she was harvesting. During this course, she was also singing a song. The poet says it was a melancholy strain. Strain means sad song. Melancholy strain, sad song. The song was so melodious and enchanting that the poet says, oh, listen, means listen silently, because the entire valley was overflowing with the sound, means the entire valley was echoing with the sound of the song. Next. Next stanza. No nightingale did ever chant more welcome notes to weary bands of travellers in some shady haunt among the Arabian sands. Now, nightingale is a sweet singing bird which is generally found in the deserts. Weary bands, bands means those travelers who journey across the desert, very tired. So, after traveling for a long distance, they are tired, and an entire procession is known as caravan because they go on camels. So, the poet says, no nightingale did ever chant, means nightingales they sing beautifully, melodiously, and their singing indicates that there must be some oasis nearby where the travelers can take rest. That's why I say more welcome notes of travelers in some shady haunt. Now, shady haunt means those places which are frequently visited. So, in desert, which are the places which frequently visited? Now, it is the oasis. Oasis is a patch of water where you find date trees, palm trees, and different kind of trees where the travelers take rest for some time. Among the Arabian sands means in the Arabian deserts. So this stanza means when weary travelers they travel across the Arabian deserts, hearing the song of the nightingale, they are overwhelmed because they come to know that nearby there must be some oasis. While taking rest, they hear the song of the nightingale. The poet says that the song was so sweet that the travelers are relieved of their weariness. Next stanza. A voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the farthest Hebrides. Now, cuckoo bird sings generally during spring season when there are mango blossoms. So, during spring time, the cuckoo bird is heard to sing. Its voice is so thrilling, so sharp that it breaks the silence of the seas. Why silence of the seas? Because it is singing among some islands where the condition is totally silent. So when the cuckoo sings, its voice is so thrilling that the entire area silence is totally broken. So it sings from far off Hebrides. Now Hebride means a group of islands. So what does this stanza say? A voice so thrilling was never heard in springtime. So I told you that cuckoo bird sings generally during springtime. It breaks the silence of the seas when it sings. So here in these two stanzas, nightingale and cuckoo, the poet says that the girl's song was more sweeter, more melodious, more charming, more fascinating than the song of the nightingale and the cuckoo bird. Next stanza. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old unhappy far off things and battles long ago. The poet is still in a dilemma about the theme of the song. He wants to know what the girl is actually singing. Then he says, must be a sad song. He predicts that it must be a sad song, plaintive number, flow. must be plaintive number, a sad song. Now, sad song about what? About old unhappy events which took place long ago, or about battles which were fought long ago. So she must be thinking about the suffering and singing a sad song because she must have lost some of her near or dear ones. The next stanza. Or is it some more humble lay, familiar matter of today, some natural sorrow, loss, or pain that has been and may be again? Then he says, if it is not about battles, if it is not about far off things or far off events, then it must be an ordinary song. About what? Familiar matters of today, those matters which are taking place at present time, or natural sorrow, about some natural calamities, natural disaster, where people lose their life and lot of suffering is caused by natural calamities like your cyclone or flood, something like that. That has been, those events must have taken place in the past or might take place in future. Then, whatever the theme the maiden sang, as if her song could have no ending, I saw her singing at her work and o'er the sickle bending. Now, maiden. Maiden means those girls who are not married. The poet says, whatever the maiden was singing, nothing to worry about. But its song seemed as if there was no ending. The poet says, it seemed to him as if the song was having no ending. She was continuously singing. When? When she was working, bending over her sickle and cutting the grain. What do you mean by sickle? Sickle is an instrument by which you cut paddy crops. The last stanza. I listened motionless and still as I mounted up the hill. The music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. The song appealed to him so much that he stood silently and still, listening to the song. But as he ascended up the hill, the song gradually faded away. The poet says, though the song was gone, but he still bore it in his heart because it was so appealing and it had an everlasting effect on the poet. But long after, the poet could no more hear the song because he had already left that place. The song left an everlasting effect on the heart of the poet. Now, students, I again request you to subscribe, like, and share. And if you have any doubt, you can write in the comment box. Any doubts, I will try to clear it. Thank you.